What's going on? This your man Chris Powell, aka Couch Coach, from the Couch Coach Live podcast and the Commanders in the Chat podcast. Want to get you guys primed and ready for this Washington Commanders matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles. And man, what a way to start the month of October for the Washington Commanders. Obviously, last week coming off of a home loss to the Buffalo Bills by the final score of 37-3. That game was essentially one of those very game that you want to throw away and just hope to rebuild off of that. Obviously, Sam Howell in that game had 4 interceptions, total 5 turnovers on the day, and also Sam Howell was sacked 9 times. So, when you have a loss like that, now you go back to the drawing board. And now we head back 95, head up 95, and we play the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles coming into this matchup with a 3-0 record. This is their second year in a row, starting off at 3-0. You look at Philly, I think when you look at from the standpoint, you look at even the Monday Night Football game where they won 25-11 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You look at, it's funny, the NFL headlines are dominated by Taylor Swift, but there was actually another Swift that pretty much had a great game this week. You talk about DeAndre Swift. He had, what does he had? He had 16 attempts, 130 yards. He did a great job, as well as the offensive line that with Jason Kelce there. So we had a Swift Kelce combination that worked to perfection last week. And can that Washington defensive line help neutralize that? And that's one thing too, where I think Washington really has to capitalize on that duo for sure. Especially you look at DeAndre Swift, just to change direction, the speed. He's going to be a headache to contain for the for us, as far as and then you think even in that matchup, he had almost 8 yards per carry on Monday night. So it's going to be definitely a difficult task for this Washington Commanders team, containing that offensive line and that run game. And then you look at even Philadelphia's defense. You look at, granted, last week they only had 1 sack against Tampa Bay, but this is where a team is. I think this definitely be a situation where I can definitely see their defensive linemen just going off. I mean, I could definitely see them where they could have, not saying a record-breaking day, but they could have a pretty good day. And it's one of the things where the Washington offensive line has to do something to help mitigate that attack. I mean, you got guys all over the place. You even got a guy like a Jalen Carter who comes in, part-time and is wreaking havoc. So just the fact that it shows you how deep their defensive line is in the trenches. So Washington really has a true test, especially coming off a loss to Buffalo. So I think one of the key things for the Commanders, the turnovers. You have to you cannot turn this ball over like you did last week. Because even last week, in their defense, it was a 16-0 game and going into the fourth quarter. But then the dam broke because of just everything. The defense got tired and what have you. So those situations can happen. I think one thing what Washington really has to do in the event, if it becomes somewhat similar to a Buffalo situation, you got to control this time of possession. Because I think if you get to a point where you do create those, you have those turnovers, and Philly can kind of get their offensive churning, this could be potentially another back-to-back ugly game. So I definitely think that the Commanders definitely need to control the time of possession, definitely win the turnover margin, especially in this case. To me, I think you put the hands in Jalen Hurts and let him win this ball game for you. I mean, even last week he had 2 interceptions. Can we essentially take advantage of those situations where he becomes that? So I definitely think, because I think if you let Swift do it, it's a wrap. So I think the keys: time of possession, offensive line play. Definitely got to keep Sam Howell upright and have him opportunities to throw. So this has been my preview for the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Check me out every Wednesday, Couch Coach Live, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and also my Washington Commanders Central podcast on Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Couch Coach Live on Wednesdays, and Commanders in the Chat on Thursdays. And we'll catch you guys next week. And we're out.